So I've been wanting to make this for you guys ever since I discovered how well pre-packaged or pre-made Chinese food tastes in the air fryer as opposed to a skillet or a big bowl like I used to use. It's a game changer. To be fair, I didn't come up with this idea on my own. It was actually on the back of the package for Aplenty. Aplenty is Amazon's brand. They do a delicious orange chicken. It's one of the 3 ways they recommend doing it. They make it easier because they separate out the chicken and they got a separate sauce bag. P.F. Chang's is more integrated. You have to pick out the chicken, but it still works. You throw it in the air fry basket, and it's absolutely delicious. When you use a skillet or put in the bowl, no matter what you do, the chicken still comes out a little just soft and a little bit like kind of doughy, no matter what you do. I've stuck the chicken in the air fryer. When I use it, it comes out perfectly crispy. It's almost as if they brought it to you directly from the restaurant. It's very authentic in terms of the texture, and I think that's what we're all going for. So with that, I'm going to show you what it looks like, how it's done, and we'll get to it. As I said, the General Chang's from P.F. Chang's, they kind of integrate it, and so really you kind of have to pick out the chicken from there. Now, lucky for me, chicken's already on top, so maybe I don't have to put it in the bowl first, but as we get down I will. This is what they look like before. Now I take the liberty of defrosting it. If you can, I would defrost these, for an hour or whatever you can before you place it in the air fryer. I think things, whether it's the oven or an air fryer, things that are already defrosted tend to work or cook a lot better, because as you're crisping the outside, the inside doesn't need to cook as much. Unfortunately, you can see it's not a whole lot of chicken. The Aplenty bag, they give you plenty more chicken, but a lot of this is fried. To be fair, these are chunkier pieces of chicken. It's a little bit of a trade-off. Anyway, let's take it over to the Emerald and let's get going. All right, so I'm going to throw this in. Now, a couple of things you'll notice, I do have foil in there. Those of you wondering, I've done a video on this already, my tips and tricks, and I explain why I use it, how I use it safely. You can watch the video. Also in the comment section of that video, I've written extensively on how to exactly put your foil in there, and how to use it safely, and why you can, and why the company gives you the warning. But for those of you that don't have an Emerald, I can't speak for you, or I can't speak to that. Anyway, let's do this. We're going to go air fry mode already on there. I'm going to set this to 380 out of 400. This is going to be, because it's slightly defrosted already, it's going to be 30 to 40 minutes. I will keep an eye on it, so we'll put it for 40, but we're probably not going to need it. You'll know by the crispiness, even know by the smell. We're in preheat mode, and we'll check back in about, let's say, 20 minutes. So we're just about 15 minutes in, and now remember, your cooking times may vary based on how defrosted the chicken was or wasn't. I'm going to give you a quick peek. You can actually, I don't know if you can see it, but they're sizzling. Don't mind something that looks like brown or it's not quite burning, I promise you that. But this chicken differs from the Aplenty because, as we saw, it was exposed to the sauce already. That's the sugar in the sauce caramelizing. It won't affect the taste. It's all good. Another thing you'll see is the drip pan down below. A lot of you may be asking, can you use the baking tray as a secondary drip pan or primary before it actually hits the element to protect the heating elements? The answer is yes. When you're in air fry mode, when it's actually cooking, there's only one heating element on the right side where the fan is that's working. The top and bottom heating elements only work to preheat the oven, and so yeah, it might take a little bit longer because you're kind of blocking some of the heat coming out, but in the end it's not more than a couple minutes. And as you can see from the I'll turn on the light again, that was the drippings from the sauce, and that worked to protect really well. Again, with the Aplenty chicken, you won't have this issue of dripping and everything because there's almost well, it's not exposed to any sauce. There's very little oil that drips down. I still use it just in case, but you won't have any kind of mess. I'm going to cut back to the actual the vegetables and the sauce. So let's go there now. So this is the rest of the PF Chang package. It consists of broccoli, some peppers, and the sauce. So what I like to do about 10 minutes before the chicken's ready, I'll put this on a low to medium heat just to get the, you can see it's mostly defrosted, but I just want to heat it up and get that going. And then we'll chuck the chicken in, and you're going to see how perfectly this looks, and I will tell you that it tastes perfect too. So with the broccoli and the sauce, I'll start off slow, medium, you don't want to, when it's in the half frozen or frozen state, but eventually I'll bring it up to a boil, because what we're going to do is now shut it off, and this is going to start to thicken, and then we're going to add the chicken, and it's going to be the perfect consistency. Why do we have to bring this to a boil? Well, unlike the Aplenty, which doesn't have all these vegetables retain, because they're frozen, pre-frozen, they retain the water. You get a little bit of water mixed in with this sauce. Bringing it to a boil and then letting it simmer, it's just like any other sauce. It will thicken up on its own, and that's how we like it. Just so you know, this sauce is a little bit spicy. It's got a little kick to it. Nothing terrible, but it's it's sweet, but it's got a little bit of kick. So I'm gonna go grab the chicken, and we'll go put it in. All right, chicken should be done. Cancel that. Open this up. Take a look. Now again, remember that's not burned. That's just the caramelization of the sauce that was on there. But you can just see the firmness. You can even hear it still crisping. You can see it. Much better. This is perfect. Soft on the inside, crispy on the outside. All right, let's transfer this to the pot and we'll finish up. All right, so our sauce, you can see it's a bit thicker now. It's simmering. We're gonna dump our chicken in. You can actually hear it. Here they're a bit crispy. A couple of them are sticking to the fry basket. I don't want to use my hands. There we go. That's little crispy bits. You can hear the crunch. All right. Now this just gets mixed up. This is ideal because when you cook the chicken and the sauce and the broccoli and everything together the way you're really supposed to do it, it kind of, it has the opportunity gets it's soak the chicken, soak the bread, and I think that's why it never comes out the same as when you air fry it and do it separately. The chicken is just exposed to too much of that extra water and kind of watery sauce, whereas now it's much thicker. So this will continue to thicken up actually as it cools off a little bit. So I just get it all over the chicken. Just literally mix it up perfectly, and then I'm going to transfer it over to my rice. And we'll see that. All right. Now the transfer on top of a bed of rice, authentic. On the side there. I'm going to get all the sauce. And voila. There we go. How good does that look? And this, you could, nice, crispy, looks good. It's going to taste great. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you found this at all helpful, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more, subscribe down below. Thank you for joining me.